Knicks family, welcome back to the Guard of Knicks podcast. I'm your host, Apollo Reed. I am here with the TFE family, the Frozen Envelope. Of course, we got regular Joe. You know, he's a regular over here. You know what I'm saying? We got
Regular
Harry.
Joe's a regular.
He's a regular over here. We got Harry. What's going on, Harry? How you doing, man?
How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, we got Dobbs in here, the Rad Hattie. I gotta go check out his YouTube page. My man got fitteds on Decky. How you doing, fam?
Yeah,
Yes,
he
sir.
do.
We good, man. You know what it is, man. Thank you
Oh,
for
yeah.
having us on, man.
Of course, man. Shout out to the chat. We got my boy Izzy in here, showing love, of course, as always. Um, so we are live on Facebook. We are live on Periscope, which is Twitter, and we're also live on, of course, YouTube. And we're here to talk about our Knicks. So, first thing, let's get it started. What is before we get into the Knicks? Let's talk about the origin of the Frozen Envelope. Why don't you guys give a little introduction to the group there?
Go ahead, Harry, because I talk on this thing enough. So
So we were on another Knicks group, and we realized the four of us that started the Frozen Envelope always gravitated towards each other. We had similar views on the Knicks. We were supportive, and to be honest with you, not knocking any other group because everybody has their own flavor, but we didn't like the baby shit. Everything turned into a high school rank out session. So this was when the political climate was crazy. We were sick of the political posts. And me, B, Ivan, and Kevin were like, you know something, man? We should start our own shit. We love the Knicks. We all bring a different perspective. And, you know, Ivan started the masthead, and B and I got it popping, and young buck Kevin came in. And we just grew, and like we were so excited when we had 100 members. We were like little kids, like it was a big deal to us. And it's just,
facts.
you know, man, it grew from there. And a couple of shout outs, my boy Victor Davis helped us grow this group from the very beginning. You
Vic
know,
came in hot, yo.
came in hot, and then, you know, then we added a few guys like Dobbs and you, Apollo, and Kevin Gino, and Eddie, and you guys always had good content. And it just clicked, man. It grew from there. We became a family. Our love for the Knicks brought us together, but, you know, we all know it's beyond that at this point, but that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. At this point, we're kind of like using the Knicks as a cover up for the brotherhood.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Absolutely.
Facts, yeah. Big facts.
That's big facts. But I think how did I get introduced? Yeah, we had a mutual friend, Joe and I. We had a mutual friend, and he was like, "Listen, I know a Knicks fan."
B dot. Shout out to B dot.
Shout out B dot. He was like, "Yo, man, I know a Knicks fan that you definitely would, you know, be real cool with." I was like, "Oh, bet, send me the info," and then, you know, he linked me up, and then right away he sent me the link to the group. And I joined the group, and I was like, this is just a different environment. Like, it was real cool. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, it's been ever since then. It's been just like family ever since. You know, like from the start. Is, you know, there's every now and then you get a little dust ups with someone here because, you know, different opinions. But that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we expect to see in this first round series starting tomorrow at what, 7 o'clock, 7:30?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on Sunday.
A boatload of pick and rolls. I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah.
If
A
you
lot
guys,
of pick and rolls.
if you guys don't mind, our resident fixer, Nostradamus over there, he's our predictions, man. I kind of want to hear from him.
Dobstradamus.
He's pretty spot on with his predictions.
Yeah, man. Dobbs, what you got us going in this series, man? What we looking like?
This is hard, man. I don't I got this closer than what people think. Like, I actually, you know, we spoke about it in the group. Even though we the 4 seed, I kind of got us the underdogs.
Me too.
Against the Hawks. All around, man. From the starters to the bench to the coach. These boys play good. They put up buckets, and if you mess up, they can kill you. They can burn you.
Right.
With that being said, though, I think if we play, I think it comes down to Julius still continuing to be Julius. But to me, Quickly and Bullock are going to be the ones that I'm looking for. I think if they have good games, we can win the series. I say it goes to 7, but I think we can take it in 6 if we play the way that we're supposed to play. So I got us in 6 right now, but it's scary. Let me tell you something. I had a dream real quick, not to go off. I had a dream last night. I'm talking to my homeboy all night about what was going on. That everybody we played, that they star player got hurt.
yo,
when we went to the chip.
Didn't I just say earlier in the chat? I said we're like a rolled ankle away from getting really, really far.
Yo, I had a dream about that, bro.
Dobbs, that was a wet dream, I think.
Hey, let's see. Let's see what happens, man. But yeah, I say us in 6. I was talking. Who was it? Was it you, Harry? The other day, or B? I think B was on my live.
I was on your live.
Depending on what we do, though, if we can beat them in 6, that's huge. 4-2. But if we beat them in 5 or sweep them or something,
that's spooky.
I think we go into the chip if we could do that.
Yeah, we conference finals bound. I think so.
If we can beat them convincingly, that's huge.
Yeah,
huge.
Does any of you guys see the similarities to the Canby Knicks that went to the finals?
The 99?
You see that?
Yes.
Yeah, 99. You
That's
see that?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you see that every single position we have from 1 through 15, we're a team unit, we're together?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this team can do it, man. I think there's a lot of pieces. First of all, like I said, like I say all the time, chemistry is huge, and I think that plays a big part into why they didn't make any trades at the deadline. They didn't get rid of anybody, even Alfred. They're scared that he's scared to remove the guy from the starting lineup. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because of chemistry. And I think you let that rock and you just keep building on that. You keep building on that. Everyone knows it's no secret that our weakness is point guard. You know what I mean? Alfred knew that before he signed the last deal he signed with us. So he knew what he was getting himself into from last year, because we didn't cut him no slack last year. But now, I mean, he's made it worse. So I mean, that's on him. But if we're being honest, he knew what he was getting himself into. He's a
Scott Perry guy.
Right. Unfortunately. And Scott's gonna get an extension. But what are we gonna say?
So though, hold on. I take off my hat to that man. Deserving.
That's right.
Because I was the first that wanted to boot him with the old regime, but this man stayed here, made some key moves, brought in a couple of players that worked out. He's the one that brought Julius in when everyone was like, "That's all you did," and look what that did for us.
That's right. Yep. And Stephen A was the one saying that. He was like, "Oh, we supposed to get this guy, and you go get Julius Randle." And you know how Stephen A gets all animated with the bullshit, and so, now look at Steve. You every day he looks like a kid in a candy store on TV. So
real quick, I'm not a Stephen A. Smith fan, but shout out to Stephen A. Smith. He get a lot of flack because he talked down about the Knicks, but the Knicks haven't been good. And when you're not good, there's nothing good to talk about. So I see a lot of people say that Stephen A is a fake Knicks fan. Stephen A. Smith is not a fake Knicks fan.
He's not now.
For all y'all Knicks fans out there that call him a fake Knicks fan, he's not a fake Knicks fan. But his job is, as much as we might hate it because he's so over the top, his job is to call it how he see it. And when he see the team stink, he got to say that the team stink.
Right. Yeah. And he has to do that because he's done it to every other team in the NBA since he's been here.
Yeah, and players. You see what's going on. You see what's going on with Kwame Brown.
With Kwame Brown, that situation is crazy.
Without mentioning any names, I don't want to hear this name coming out anybody's mouth who Stephen A. sits across from. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it will not be PG rated. I don't want to hear it. no reference, no bullshit.
We're not even gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
I skipped right over that dude, man.
Right.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there. We know where he is. We know where he is.
We know
but Stephen A is not for Knicks fans that are listening. Stephen A. Smith is not a fake Knicks fan, yo. Mm-hmm. Stephen A. Smith is a fed up Knicks fan. Yeah, right. He's not a homer, but he's not a fake Knicks fan. I could assure you of that. He might be harder. He's harder on the Knicks than probably a lot of Knicks fans, but he's not a fake Knicks fan.
He's as hard on the Knicks as he is on the Cowboys.
That's true. That's true.
And he hates the Cowboys.
He hates the Cowboys. Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, listen, man. Going back to what I expect to see this series. I mean, I've always said that I think we're going to win the series regardless, simply because we have home court advantage. I don't think there's a game in Madison Square Garden that they will be able to pull out. I just don't believe they will be able to do that.
Ooh.
That's just my take. I don't think that they'll be, especially with the added capacity of 15,000 fans, at 13 or 15,000 fans now?
15,000
fans from 2,000?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Can't wait.
That's spooky.
Can't wait.
Like, that's really, really spooky.
Listen,
so I mean,
can't wait.
Go ahead, Dobbs.
On the other side of it, I had mentioned this in the beginning of the season when, it was the bubble type shit. And I said that I thought that the bubble type environment would help us because it'll take some pressure off of these young kids. So we're excited about this 15,000. But this team has not played in front of 15,000 fans in Madison Square Garden.
That's facts.
So
that's true.
Even though we look at it like an advantage, it can be, but this is going to be huge. Like, it's a lot of pressure on them now.
So I'm gonna speak to that. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not worried about that.
Me neither.
Okay. I feel like these kids have played in front of umpteen thousand fans. You know what I mean? For years now. I mean, is it a little bit more pressure being in the playoffs and at the Garden? Yes, of course, but I'm not worried about them being shook playing in front of fans. You know what I mean? Like Emmanuel quickly said, we played in front of 20,000 at Kentucky. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think
ain't the Garden though.
It's not. But as long as the Knicks handle their business though, right? Because if they go out and play well, they don't have nothing to worry about. The fans are going to be crazy and on their side. You know what I mean? If they go out and play like garbage, like shit, then the crowd's going to turn on them.
That's the part I'm talking about. That's the part I'm talking about.
I think that they'll be fine. I don't think they're going to play bad. I don't think they'll play bad.
I also think that Atlanta has just as many young guys as we do. So I think
yes, they do.
A lot of the issues that we can run into, they can run into those same exact issues. So I think that it's a pretty even series. Just like we just finished watching that Clipper Maverick series. That's a very, very close matchup.
So
very close.
So when Dobbs went live the other day, I kind of chimed in, and the one thing I want everyone to realize, we've never ever played Atlanta at full strength.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
They have never ever, and I'm not saying we can't do it, but
no, you're right though.
We were down the last game, and then Trey turned his ankle, and we went on to win, but we were losing that game. So
they were getting whatever they wanted in that game.
I think the key to the Atlanta series, and bring it on, I want all the smoke from all you all out there, is Frank Ntilikina, is our bench, is Frank on Trey. I think
we'll see.
And the double teams, I think Frank's going to step up big, and this is going to be the difference if Frank stays with us on a second contract or we package him in the offseason. I think that – go ahead, Apollo.
I was just going to say, shout out to my man Dobbs, man. He definitely said Frank was made for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Made for the playoffs, man. And I've been waiting to see him. I think these guys, they don't shy from that moment. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen these guys get nervous in that moment before.
I just hope Frank gets minutes. Like we still don't know if that's gonna happen or not. So that's why I don't want to speak on Frank like too much because we don't really know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Frank might play 30 seconds. You know, they like to bring him in at the end of the game.
Yeah. They might bring him at the end of every quarter for about a minute, and then he might get
I think it depends on what Trey doing.
Well, that's exactly right, Dobbs. The only reason I think we're going to see him is because Trey gets a lot of people in foul trouble. He does a better version of what Quickly does. He gets in front of you, the herky-jerky, the little stop and go. He gets people on his back. He's always swiping from side to side. But
yo, if you've been watching these playoff games, if these playoff games is any indication of what we might see tomorrow, these refs been kind of swallowing the whistle a little bit.
They've been letting them boys play.
So Trey better not be out there, jumping around, and he might not get the whistle that he think he's gonna get.
We'll see if they do that with us, though.
Trying to goat the media and the refs into saying
that's what Nate McMillan was doing.
Yeah, Nate McMillan.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nate think he's slick.
Yeah,
because the way they've been letting the teams play, like B said, that's in our favor.
100%.
If they let us
absolutely,
play, let us play like that.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Are they gonna let us play like that, man?
I think they let us play. I think they let us play, and the reason why I say that, remember what I told you, Harry? Remember what I told you? The league already said that they're looking at Trey.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they already said they're looking at Trey. They said that last week. Like they're going to be looking at a lot of the stuff all the shenanigans that he be doing on the court. Yeah. Like they're already taking a hard look at that and deciding how they're going to call this.
Right.
So they're aware of it. They're aware of it, and they're going to be looking at it, bro. And I don't think that he's going to get as many calls as we're accustomed to seeing him get.
I think the biggest differential for us and any other team out there is our bench. I think our bench is a true second squad. It's not even a bench. Our plus minus for our whole second crew is off the charts.
Yeah.
So that's where I think we have an advantage is we're deep at every position.
But they're deep too.
They're deep too. Yeah. I mean,
they're incredibly deep too.
Listen, man, I think the second advantage we have is our coaching staff. And I think they're the reason why we're even here today. It's practically the same team outside of Alec Burks and
Derrick Rose.
Noel.
But I mean, also, even before the Derrick Rose trade, we were better than people thought we were going to be anyway.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But he just took us to another level. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But I'm just trying to give as much respect to Tom Thibodeau as I can. I like you're watching these interviews that these guys have. I don't like this. Like Julia said, there's no one more prepared than Tom Thibodeau, and I believe him. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anyone like he said. These guys came in there and he had 2 packets for them to just read through of gameplay, matchups. Tibbs is not fucking around.
You're Derrick Rose talking about the book the other day.
The book. He said the little thick. He said like 5-inch book he used to give him.
He said he said him and Quickly said they got a book. So
they got a book themselves? Yeah.
For the playoffs. For the playoffs.
Yeah, that was the one that I think it was 2 books that he had gave them. And that's the type of shit that you Tom Thibodeau is completely ready. I think he knew they were going to make the playoffs this year. I think that's something that he expected. I don't even think he was on some they might win 20-something, 30. His mind was on playoffs, which is why he's prepared at this moment because he knew we would be here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these coaches didn't think that the team that they were coaching, Nate McMillan didn't think when he took over that he was going to be able to drag them all the way to the 5th seed because they weren't playing well before that coach firing.
You know what's
crazy though? They were let's call it they were a bad team.
They were a bad team.
Yeah.
If you watch the interviews in the beginning of the season, they actually believed, every player believed that it wasn't even like it was forced. They were like, we're making the playoffs. No bravado, no hype, just straight facts. We're making the playoffs. Crazy.
Yeah. And that's
remember.
Go
ahead, Paul. My bad.
No. You go, but I already spoke.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we was at the 20 game mark and we was all talking and we was talking about can they keep it up? And I had mentioned that I thought we could just for the simple fact that they believe.
Yeah.
They believe now. What's the difference when you got confidence compared to Fizz trying to convince you that you can do this and that? Or anybody trying to convince you. Once you get it,
get you right, kid.
You can do it. Like as fans, some of us and I still suffer from it a little bit. It's like in the back of my mind, I'm waiting for the Knicks to come back down to earth.
Yeah.
And it's just
PTSD.
not happening.
Knick
Yeah,
fan
and now that the
PTSD.
playoffs start, I'm kind of like, this first game, I'm nervous, bro.
So
Yeah.
It's like, yo, are we gonna be the same Knicks, or are we gonna start folding now? Are we gonna? And it's like I still can't. I believe it, but I can't believe that we're doing what we're doing right now. Honestly,
who do you think is going to be the most important player in this series that nobody's talking about?
That nobody's talking about?
that nobody's
Yeah.
talking about. Does
I got my
does
guy.
Frank
Nah,
count?
I got one.
I think I honestly think Taj is going to be huge in this series because I just don't trust Noel in that matchup with Capella.
Capella,
Just
Capella's
not
tough.
physical enough, not big enough.
Okay.
I think Taj is. Don't be surprised if Taj played more minutes in this series than Nerlens.
Here's a question: does Mitch come back?
No.
No,
I think Mitch is not. They're not gonna rush him. But if this series goes 7 games, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 5-10 minutes.
I'd be shocked.
I don't agree with that. I think
wouldn't be
the only way
surprised.
we see Mitch is if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
We would have to get deep.
You know what I mean? If we
okay.
get to the Eastern Conference Finals and we're playing Brooklyn, okay? And we need that big body for the plus minus on the rebounds, offensive and defensive. That's the only time we see him. I think Tibbs looks long-term, and I'm not even convinced, go ahead, bring it on, that he's going to be there past this season. A la Dobbs is what he said. Depending on what happens. Go ahead, Dobbs.
Go ahead, Dobbs.
Said in the beginning.
My person is Obi. If Obi can, because we've watched Obi, there's been 2 different Obis from the first 30 games to the next. Yep. If he can be what he's been these last 30 games and a little better, I think if he can continue to hit that corner 3, play some D, catch some fast break and all of that, I think that could be a changer. But if he go back to shooting damn air balls, that hurts us a lot. So I would say that nobody talking about, I would say Obi.
Yeah, I was going to agree. I was going to agree with that as well, because I think the progression we've been seeing, like in the beginning of the season where he's coming out shooting all these threes in the first, second game, everybody's like, why is Obi out there? Now it's 10, 15 games. People's like, why is Obi out there? And I said on this show, I said, if he's out there and Tom Thibodeau ain't saying nothing, he's out there for a reason.
Right.
Because I'm sure exactly.
But the league is all about spacing, bro. So if Randall's not in the game, right? If Obi's in the game and you already got Taj, or at the time Noel was the backup center at the beginning of the season, you got Noel in the game, you can't have him and Obi just standing next to each other in the paint. You know what I mean? Like this ain't 94. Like my boy was complaining, I forget what game we were watching, and he was like, why is this guy just standing out there by the 3-point line? I don't remember what player it was. And I'm like, yo, there's nowhere else for him to go. In today's league, right, there's 4 guys on the perimeter and there's 1 guy in the paint. That's just how it is. So even Obi shooting 28%, the Knicks never changed that. He's still standing in the corner. He's still floating on the wing because it's all about spacing,
There's a big difference, though. Dobbs pointed it out that the first 30 games and the second 30 games, the only thing that really changed was the insertion of Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose made Obi a much better player.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Derrick Rose
100% without a doubt.
Gave him his confidence, spaced the floor better, broke down the defense, drew the double teams. Obi's playing. This is new for Obi. Obi's a very athletic big, as we saw in the dunk contest. He's not used to being on the perimeter. Right. At Dayton, he was running the floor, alley-oops, backdoors, and he's kind of doing a little bit of that. But
he was shooting too in Dayton.
Shooting player.
Yeah, he shot. I mean, he made 40% of his threes at Dayton his last year. Right. But his game was out in transition and pick and rolls. Because Jalen Crutcher is a really good point guard, a really good college point guard, and he set Obi up for a lot of easy baskets. And then he came here and he had Elfrid Payton, and
who only
I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. Also, another important thing that Derrick Rose did was he showed everyone how to use Obi. You know what I'm saying? Like no one else knew how to use Obi before Derrick Rose came in there and just started running with him in that second unit. And then all of a sudden, you seen the motor in Obi's head. It just started turning. You see him on the sidelines asking questions. And I was never worried about Obi. He looks like a guy, despite his age, he looks like a guy that comes in day after day and he asks questions. Those are the kind of guys that you want on your team. You want someone who's going to ask questions. You want someone who's going to look for the criticism that other people try to avoid. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's highly important, especially he's from New York. He's got tough skin. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's worried about that. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion on Obi.
Plus, he been a slow starter everywhere he been. High school, college, like he always been kind of a late bloomer. So I'm willing to be patient just because I know that like it might take him until year 3 before we say, okay, now I see.
Now
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you guys a question. How long did it take Kawhi to bloom? How long did it take some other players that see? I've always said this, not only in basketball, but especially football also. Right now, we're paying players on potential, not what they're actually doing. So you used to have a quarterback in the NFL come in and sit behind the starter for 2 years, carry the playbook, know what's going on, sit in meetings. Then when he got out there, he knew the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Only 5 guys on a basketball starting team, and one player can impact that lineup so much. We don't try to nurture these kids anymore. Look at the player development in the last decade and a half, which was non-existent, and look at what Kenny Payne just did. Look at what Johnny Bryant just did. Look at all these guys that are big on player development. That's one of the biggest differences in our team.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Rose, bro. I think everybody needs to give this man his proper respect around the league. Everybody to see what this man is doing and to look at the career that he's had and the injuries and the setbacks, and to do what he's doing is unbelievable, and to be doing it with us. When I first heard that we were getting him back, I was pissed. To be honest, I was pissed.
I was hyped.
What he did to us the first time,
it's hard to forget.
I hated him.
It's hard to forget.
Honestly. Him giving up on us and bouncing in the beginning of that game and just leaving and being away for a week or two. Like, you literally gave up on us.
That was wild. He just did. That was wild, man.
I ain't forget it as a fan. So when we said we was getting him back, even though he was playing better, I'm like that was foul. So for him to come back in his attitude and to see how happy he is, to see what he's done for this team, to be the player that he's playing at right now, with everything that has happened with his injuries, this season right here, this is something, this a Netflix show, bro, for him.
It really is.
Honestly, seriously.
Like, really, like, this is a Derrick Rose documentary that's going on right now. So these playoffs for me, hey, this can be monumental.
Yeah.
You know what's wild to me though? So, because you know how I am, Apollo, like I just be looking at stuff. So I went back and I just looked at like Derrick Rose's numbers that year with the Knicks. Like there was nothing. If you would just look at his numbers on the surface, you'd be like, oh, he's pretty good.
He was
decent,
yeah.
But it didn't translate to wins. He obviously wasn't happy because let's be honest, like there's really nothing to be. I felt like there was really nothing to be happy about. Like you had this guy lording over the franchise, forcing a triangle. Like,
that was terrible, man.
Terrible.
Yeah, and then you had a coach who had never coached before in his life. And the first thing, okay, when the guy first comes in, he had already had some problems. I think I don't remember what it was. If it was
Tim
like a
Hardaway.
domestic problem, I think it was a
Oh
domestic
no,
problem.
that was the thing with him and Matt Barnes.
It was a domestic problem, and then he had the Matt Barnes thing. Like it was just,
And
it
then
just was a bad time.
Then he referred to us as the Big Three. Remember that?
Yeah,
I remember that, and he could have been right. He could have been right if they let these guys actually play ball. If they let Fisher actually coach the team. Like Fisher never got a chance to actually coach the team, in my opinion. Jeff Hornacek before him never got a chance to actually. None of these guys got a chance to actually coach, yo.
No.
So because my man basically was trying to be the coach without being the coach, Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I look at that whole
yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
That whole era, of like I guess Nick years, and it was a bad time in my opinion. Looking back, like who would want to be here?
Yeah,
and
I don't want to be. I don't want to be on a team where the guy that's coaching the team is not actually coaching the team.
Fellas, I'm gonna have to jump in a minute.
Well, if you remember,
for work.
Okay.
Can I say something real quick? Another one.
Yes, sir.
James Dolan.
Sure.
Let the guard up Knicks be the first ones to get at man.
You gotta give him some credit, man.
A hand, bro. Like everybody talk crap about that man. Then he done plugged a couple people in, but he's always tried, bro.
Always,
clap it up for Jimmy in the straight shot.
For real, all of them. But let me say this before I go. People talking about us being, they telling us to slow down, and we jumping out the window with stuff as Knicks fans.
No, jump out the window.
To be honest,
jump out.
Us as Knicks fans, we've done what we were supposed to do already. These playoffs is a plus.
Yep.
What? And it's not just about basketball with the Knicks. It might be about basketball with other teams. We were so bad as an organization. The way the NBA looks at us now, the players look at us, the vibe around us now, that's what we needed in year one. We weren't guaranteed to even get that in year one. Honestly.
What did I say to you the other day? We're doing year 3 shit in year 1. This should be what we did right now. We expected in year 3.
Way ahead of schedule.
In year 1.
Yep.
And people need to take heed to that. The most important part to me, it's not even the play. And this is honest. I know we love the playoff thing that we in it.
Yeah.
But the fact that all Knicks fans and people around the league can really see that we done changed the aura of Madison Square Garden about this team and this organization, I'm more proud of that than anything, because that's what we needed.
Facts.
That's what we needed. So everybody telling us to calm down and do all of this, like this is beautiful. Like it's hard to be a proud Knicks fan.
Yo, jump off
jump no other fan base to relax.
Yo, jump from the 12th floor without a parachute, yo.
Facts.
Yep.
We jumping out the window. And
the greatest
and y'all know I'm into my hats. Real quick, Harry.
Go ahead, brother.
Y'all know I've been into my hats. And I tell y'all now, it's a lot of so Knicks fans. Because I'm in the hat game, Knicks hats are always available, bro. For the last month or two, the Knicks hats on all of the sites that I go to and the shit, they gone. And they selling out fast as fuck.
That's crazy.
Fast as fuck. And this is only in the last maybe 2 months. I've been missing on some of the joints because they going so damn fast. So I see some of y'all out there that's been faking.
Now all of a sudden,
I told you how I feel, yo. Bring all the love, yo. All you fair weather Knicks fans, come on, yo. Jump on. Bring the love. The more the merrier. Y'all might be some phonies, but we need y'all right now.
Yeah, word.
We need all the love right now, yo. We need all the love right now. I told you the phonies got
the greatest thing. The greatest thing is we didn't sell one playoff ticket for 50% off. We got full pop on everyone.
Whoa, boy.
Hey, shots fired.
They throwing.
Ooh.
KD said that they having sleepovers at Kyrie house for people to come over to the game. Like they doing. Hey,
Yo.
let's
Yo,
make that an issue too. Like for real. Nets, stop playing with us, man. We own the city and we always gonna own the city. Y'all can literally win the chip. The Nets can win the championship this year. And the talk is gonna be what the Knicks did.
The Knicks did. Yep.
Regardless.
They have a championship caliber team and they have trouble selling playoff tickets. That doesn't make any sense to me. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Bro.
But I digress. I ain't gonna hold you too much longer, Dobbs. I know. Yo, let the people know where they can find you, man. What you got going on before you get up out of there.
I got my channel. It's called A Hat Whisperer. I mean, I'm all about my hats. I do Nick hats, but I do all hats. I'm a hat collector. On IG, it's the Rad Hatter, and on YouTube, it's the Hat Whisperer. I just show the love of my hats, man, and I do it my style, my way. I'm like this on it. So if y'all like it, man, tune in, man.
Yeah, tune in. It's some heat on there. I'm telling y'all though, it's some heat on there. I wouldn't lie to y'all.
I don't do nothing but heat.
Yep.
I don't do nothing but heat. But man, I appreciate it, man. You know what it is, man.
Yeah, man. I thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, bro.
Love you, bro.
Tomorrow, bro, we tuned in tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put on extra deodorant tomorrow, bro, because I'm telling you, it's this. I just want to see it
all the way down, bro.
I want to see it. I know I'm doing all of this, man. I gotta see it, man. This is
it's monumental.
Bro, we in the playoffs.
We in the playoffs.
It's this team, bro. Whew. Like I don't think we really sit down and we so enamored by us, but really, Julius Randle,
when that music come on
is
tomorrow,
really playing. Yo,
gentlemen,
it might sound crazy.
6 at the half. Celtics are up.
Yeah, I got it on right here.
Nets at the half.
Okay.
Julius, like Harry said, Julius is doing exactly what LeBron did, and what LeBron. I ain't gonna say what LeBron does. He slacked a little bit, but what Julius is doing is it's Julius Randle, bro. It's weird seeing Julius Randle do this.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, one thing to you, because I don't want you to leave, and I know you gotta. Julius Randle is what we thought Carmelo Anthony could have been for us. But Julius is doing it.
Don't say that too loud.
Don't say that too loud, but it's the truth.
But I feel you, man. And I'm a big Carmelo fan, but if Carmelo's putting up biggest numbers in 2013, we would have got past the fucking Pacers. And that's all.
What year was that? It was one year where Melo did come in and he was passing the ball and all of that shit, running, jumping out of bounds for.
That was 2013.
That was
2013.
That was 13.
Yeah.
If he was that every year, we probably could have got something. But yeah, Julius needs to be a Knick, man. Get that man a contract and work this through him.
Lock it up. Lock him up.
Let him, lock that man up, man.
He earned
that man up. But shout out to all of y'all, man. Shout out to, for real, James Dolan James Dolan changing the number and letting 15,000 in. Like, that's for the fans.
That's for the fans.
I know it's some money too, but come on, man. Yeah. Give all around. We should win. We should have had Coach of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, and MVP in the same person.
Yeah.
GM of the Year,
Executive of the Year,
President of the Year, Owner of the Year. Literally.
Yo, we did everything that every team wanted to be able to do in one season.
Season.
For sure.
And it's us. It's not like we creeped up, 10 games this season and then 10 games this season and we at now. Like Harry said, we went from the worst to fourth. Everything that everybody said had to work. Like the Knicks got to do this. This has to happen. That has to happen. All 10 of them happening.
You know how they say everything has to go right? Everything went right.
But you want to know
Everything's
something?
going right.
The organization as a whole, from the coaching staff to the front office to the players to everybody we have, everybody did what they were supposed to do. Everybody was the best version of themselves this year.
Yeah, this is
except for Elf.
Come on. No. We're not gonna do that. Not today.
Right.
Yo,
you know I love to go in on him, but
I usually come on here in the show, and people who watch it, I call him player. I don't call him his name. I said player. You meant like NBA Live when Jordan used to be in the
player X?
Call him player. Yeah, word. His name is player. That's what we gonna go by. But nah, I ain't gonna do that to him today. We showing love to Alfred. I'm not gonna lie. It has gotten a little bit awkward with the press asking him a lot of these questions and asking the coach a lot of these questions regarding Alfred. I think we got here off chemistry. Let them continue doing what they're doing. And then
I said weeks ago leading into the playoffs, because we had a discussion on the frozen envelope, and people were saying, should we bench Elf? And I'm like, no, it's not now. It's too late.
Too late.
Yeah. Leave him in there. Leave him in there, and I'm hoping he could give us something tomorrow, man. I really am. He said all the right things. He said all the right things in his press conference. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
man.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
All right, man. Well, shout out to y'all, man. I'm about to get out here. I got to work my damn midnights tonight. Shout out to the envelope. Apollo, shout out to you.
Of course, all day, bro.
Harry B, y'all know what it is, man.
You already know, bro.
People who don't know about the frozen envelope, man, just look at this year's Knicks, honestly, and I'm not gassing just because I'm here with y'all, but this year's Knicks is what the frozen envelope is.
It's a fact. That feeling, yeah.
That feeling is what the frozen envelope group is, of just people working together, supporting each other. We got some random nuts. Like we got a couple player X's in there. I mean, but most, like, I love it, man, and I love y'all, man.
Oh, love you too, brother.
Love you, bro.
But I'll holler at y'all, bro.
All right.
Much love, man. Be safe, fam. Talk to you later.
Peace. Hey, and that's just a shameless plug, you know.
There you go. Let him know.
Right,
let him know.
Salute, man.
Bro.
Later.
Peace,
later.
Bro. All right.
Hey, yo, look. So I will say this about Elf, right? If we get an actively engaged version of Elf is actually a pretty good player.
Engaged, right.
Like, if everything that he said in his press conference, like, he meant it, I expect him to give us some quality minutes tomorrow, but you just don't know. We'll have to see it, yo. But I know that if he's engaged, like, we could get some good stuff from him. Right. But he just hasn't been an NBA player at all for like about 3 weeks.
Nah, and I think, like I said on Twitter, I tweeted during, I think not the last game, but the game before last. Who did we play? It was the Spurs. I think it was the Spurs we played.
It was the Charlotte Hornets.
The Hornets was the second to last game?
Yeah.
Okay. No. It was either that game or the Spurs game where I looked up and I said, I think Alfred is so far into his head he might not be able to find his way out. And I think that's really all it is. I don't think he's a terrible player.
I'll keep it a buck with you, bro. You're not going to want to – I know that Knicks fans don't want to hear this, but I don't think that it has anything to do with confidence. I truly believe that he just said, the hell with it. Like, I think he quit. Like, that play with him just standing in the corner, looking up into the stands with his hands on his hip, like, the way he's just jogging around, like, trotting around on the court, like, he don't seem
unselfish, unnecessary drives to the basket. I mean, selfish, unnecessary drives to the basket.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I felt like those last 3 weeks of the season, he checked out because he's not that bad.
No, he's not.
He's never been that bad.
Especially not here. Like, he wasn't that bad.
Like, this dude's been in his career, you know, like, one of those kind of Swiss Army knife point guards. Mm-hmm. Like, he could get you a triple-double on any given night, and he wasn't even remotely close to anything like that at those last 3 weeks of the season. I truly believe that he checked out, and You watch him on the bench. Like, it's not a good look, yo. It's not a good
why
look. It's a bad.
Hats off to Tibbs with the sports psychology end of it. So instead of not grandstanding, but benching the guy, which really is not a good look, he's still a starter, but he diminished his minutes. I mean, he literally plays. He plays maybe
about
7
minutes
in the first
to start each half. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he don't come back until the third quarter. And depending on how he goes, he's out again for the rest of the game.
But you know it's crazy though, man. And damn, yo, this kind of pains me to say. Like, even those, because Rose usually checks in around the 5.5 minute mark. Even those 6.5, 7 minutes, they're like really bad minutes, man.
Very bad.
Like we get put in the holes, right? Like, if we have a lead going into the third quarter, like the lead diminishes to start the third. We get off to like these horrible starts to start the first quarter. Like, I'm holding my breath for those first 6.5, 7 minutes, because I mean, we've seen games where we came out and we were almost immediately down by 10, 12, 15 points. Like, it's and I'm glad this is the first time, hold on. This is the first time that I could actually say what I'm saying and I don't get no pushback from Harry.
What? Go ahead.
Yeah, because we've been through this, bro, and it's just like, I felt like, not just you either. There's a lot of guys who are like trying to justify like the way this dude is playing, and I'm like,
George Bolin on the site.
Oh man, he's an elf apologist for real, man. Shout out to George too. George is a good dude.
Here he is, man. I think he likes George the way Kevin Sauvignon loves Frank. You know, that's just his guy.
Yeah, just his guy. Yeah, and I mean, everybody has their guy. I was always a huge Frank fan. I mean, it's called Guard Up Knicks for a reason. I fucking love defense. But you know, there's other aspects to the game. And not only is there the physical and the skill level, there's a mental level that you have to go to be a good player in this league. And I think that's another area that Frank just hasn't grasped just yet, if he ever does. But that's my only fault with Frank. I think everything else he does well. I think he does his job. I don't think that's why they don't call him a point guard, because if they did, then he wouldn't be doing his job, because he's not necessarily what a point guard, your typical point guard is. I think he's like a combo guard kind of thing. But
Apollo and Bernard, why do you think that our fan base is so divided over Frank? I mean, the one thing about winning this year, there's less Frank talk. But last year, literally, people wanted to. The stuff they say about him is beyond basketball. I've never seen a player that is so low key and such a nice young man that doesn't say anything that gets so much hate.
Oh, you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
It's a results business, yo. Like, it's as simple as that, man. Like, and it's not this kid's fault. Like, he was picked, what, 8th?
So do you think that's what it is, where he was picked?
Absolutely.
A lot of it is absolutely. If he was picked in the second round, nobody would care.
No expectations. There would be no if anything, he probably would get much more love from the fans the lower he was picked.
But the fact that, you know, we picked him, and, you know, there's always going to be the Donovan Mitchell thing. Yeah. Even though everybody passed on Donovan Mitchell, not just the Knicks. And there's a few other players who the Knicks could have gotten who have been turned out to be better, more impactful players than Frank. But
so
listen.
But let me ask you this then: why doesn't our fan base hate Knox as much?
They do. I think. All right. So this is it.
Not as much as Apollo. Not as much as Frank.
I'm gonna be honest. While I'm on Twitter, I see.
I can answer that question too.
I see just as much hate, but I think the reason why the hate is bigger for Frank is because of his position. I think if he wasn't a point guard, the problem with him is that we as a franchise have been dying at that position for since Marbury was the last.
I think it's even deeper than that, Apollo.
What you got?
I think that it's because of the Frank Hive, bro. Like Knox don't really have a hive.
That's true. Yeah, Knox don't
like
have no hive.
The Frank
Hive.
He
got Slizzy. That's all he got.
The Frank Hive makes people who maybe don't care for Frank hate him even more. Because then it turns into,
why do you like this guy?
Yeah, it turns into like Knox don't really have a fan base, so to speak.
Right.
Like Frank has a legit like group of people, like a cult following of people who like love him. I'm maybe like kind of a part of that.
Can I come to Frank's defense for a second though?
Yeah.
So you don't have to. I mean, I love him. So
what I'm saying is to our fan base. Now listen. Yeah. I don't love Frank. I don't hate Frank. As long as he's wearing orange and blue, I root for him.
Right.
Do I think he can be an integral part of a team? 100% I do. Mm-hmm. Here's where I think all this hate comes in. This kid was picked by the same regime that wanted to run the triangle.
There you go.
He was picked specifically to run the triangle. He was an unknown, but Phil Jackson said, hold on a second. He's got all the tangibles that I need to run an outdated offense. And that's why he was brought in.
So they picked him and played Jared Jack ahead of him like geniuses.
Which he was screwed from the beginning. This kid had nothing to do with where he was picked. Listen, he's not where he should be. He definitely wasn't number 4 overall. We all know that, okay?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. You stop looking at me. Get out of here. But what I'm saying is just give the man some love. Just, or if you're not going to love him, just don't hate him so much.
There you go. Yeah. Because that's the thing. If we can tolerate Elfrid starting this entire season, then there's no reason why Frank should get as much hate as he does. You know what I mean? He hasn't hurt.
Impact the game anymore. He
doesn't hurt us. He doesn't hurt us at all.
But the thing is this though, people have seen Elfrid score 20.
Yeah, once a month, and I guess that's like, oh well, he's worth it, and it's like, yeah, okay. Then you realize all the other shit you got to deal with him.
B, what's the first thing I said to you? Second year with Frank, he's out of position. Mm-hmm. He's not a point guard.
Nope.
He already has the defense down to a point. What's the most sought after position in the NBA right now?
Small forward,
a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Frank's already got the D
Mikal
down.
Bridges.
His three's better. That's where he should be focused.
For 44% this year.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I think if you put him in the Mikal Bridges role like he is with the Suns, I think the kid can flourish, man. I really do.
I do too.
You don't have to put the ball in his hands. He can on offense be your corner 3 shooter because he shoots a high percentage from the corners, as we know since he did last year, shooting 52% from the corners. That people don't talk about those numbers. So if you have him on offense doing that, he's not responsible for handling the ball, running any offense. He's just another guy on the court with high IQ and gives it his all every single time he's out there. And then on the other end of the floor, he can guard you all 90 feet. He can guard you from baseline to baseline. And then on top of that, he can do it at a level where it frustrates even stars. We've seen him do it to Dame. We've seen him do it to Kyrie. We've seen
James Harden.
James Harden. This is why I think he has a opportunity. As Bob said, this kid, you will see his true value in the playoffs.
The only thing I hate, man, and I'm worried about it, let's just go out on a limb and say that he's going to see some important minutes, right, tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, he gets a shitty whistle, man.
He does. It's terrible.
I never. It seems almost like targeting, bro. Like it's bad, man. Like the whistle that he gets. I mean, it's really bad.
No,
it's really bad.
The
Nets,
the New Jersey Nets, bro. I said that on purpose.
I do that too.
I call them the Crooklyn Nets.
The Crooklyn Nets.
No. That's too much respect. That's too much respect.
That might be a little bit too much respect. They might like that too much. But the game versus the Nets, every time he guarded Kyrie Irving, they called a foul. I think he had 4 fouls in like 3 minutes.
And he had the one foul where he literally was just standing there and they called a foul on him. It's just like, yo, what's going on, yo?
Hey,
what is going on?
Do you guys find out who the ref is for the first 2 games? Because if we get that woman ref that hates us,
oh God, Lauren Holtkamp.
You got it. She hates.
Oh, let's hope not, man. Let's hope not. Let's hope we don't. Let's hope there's no signs of Lauren in the garden at all, bro. Like I don't want her there. I don't want her there as a backup ref. Like I don't want her in the building, like at all.
Yeah. She's gonna be there. She's gonna be there as well as what's my guy that hated Carmelo? Brown. What's his name?
Oh, damn. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yo, he hates us, bro. Like, and it's gotten to the point where he's I think this season he slowed down a little bit with it because it kind of got too obvious. Like it was kind of like he would call fouls and then it'd be like, all right, it was a little questionable, but okay. But then when he starts calling these texts, it's like, all right, bro, nothing happened. Like, why are you so upset? Like, what
like,
did we do?
Yo, there's some. I hate to say it, yo. Like, I can't get fined, so I don't give a shit. There's like some really like questionable referees, man. Like Tony Brothers, man.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. Tony Brothers.
That's what you meant.
That's what I meant.
Tony Brothers is bad, man. like he's a really bad referee, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he the one that also had the problem with Tim Duncan?
Yes. Really?
Yeah, remember he called the tech on Duncan when Duncan was in street clothes.
That's right.
yeah, Duncan was just sitting there.
Face.
Yeah, he was in street clothes, bro. He was in street clothes. Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Tony Brothers is rough, man.
He's been doing it to us since Carmelo was here. I remember when Carmelo was here. I think all of the 6-7 years he was here, it was just every single time we played a game and Tony Brothers was the coach, it was like you saw it in Melo's face. Like he just didn't want to say anything to him. And then I forgot when it was. It was after Melo was gone. And I think I heard an interview where I don't know. You know what? I'm not even going to put that out there because I might be wrong. So all I'm going to say is he better get his shit together because I know he's going to be refereeing at least 3 to 4 of our games.
Don't say that, yeah.
They do this shit to us all the time, bro.
I mean, you figure this, right? You figure whoever the referees are going to be for the first game are probably going to be the referees for the entire series. Because of the way COVID is, like, they're not gonna change anything. So whoever we got is who we gonna have, and we just gotta have to deal with it, yo.
That's scary. That's very scary. But you know, like I said before, I'm not worried. You know, I don't want to hold you guys too long. We already hit an hour at this point.
I'm good. I'm good. I don't know about Harry.
I'm always good with you guys, man. I'm always good with you guys.
Yeah,
listen, man. It's
unless you got somewhere to be.
The only thing that's waiting on me is that Jamaican food that took forever to get here, and I didn't even get a chance to eat it. But I smell it in the background. I'm trying to act like it's not there.
Well, you got some oxtails, Apollo. You got some oxtails.
Yeah, man. Some rice and peas. Listen,
some cabbage, some platanos,
bro. All right, let's stop. Okay, because I get off this thing right now. There was another point that I did want to hit, and I think it was regarding RJ Barrett. What do you guys think you're going to see from RJ Barrett in his first playoff series?
Personally, go ahead, B.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. The reason why I'm a little nervous is because he already don't get a whistle.
And they ain't gonna call it in the playoffs.
Yeah, like I'm trying to see like scenarios where he's gonna get whistles in the playoffs. And I'm like, this dude didn't get whistles all year. Like, why would he get whistles in the playoffs? Listen, let's just pray that his 3 ball is on, yo.
Yeah.
Because driving to the basket right now, like he struggled. First of all, he struggled. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. Like those last, I want to say the last
3 weeks, 2-3 weeks,
maybe even more than that. Like maybe a month or so. Like he struggled finishing at the rim. He struggled shooting inside the arc. Period. Like he wasn't very good.
Pull up J was bad. Yep.
The Knicks are second to last, I believe, in shots from 4 feet in.
Oh my God.
In the league. Yeah. And RJ is a big part of that, to be honest.
Yeah. He misses a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect, man. Like I hope that the 3 ball is on though. If the 3 ball is on, like he's gonna have a few drives to the basket where he muscles in, probably get some and ones. If the 3 ball is on, we're good though. I'm not worried about it as long as the 3 ball is on, because he's gonna get some looks because they're gonna be all over Julius.
They're gonna be all over Julius, yeah. What are you gonna say, Harry?
So B, usually you and I are on the same page, and that's why we started this whole group together, the Frozen Envelope.
This is how he starts off to disagree with me.
I see. Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, though. I'm going to tell you why.
You're such a nice guy, yo.
No, but seriously, because I'm going to tell you why, though. I remember his first interview with Stephen A. Smith, and I'm not even going to say the other guy's name.
I'm built for this.
And Stephen A. said to him, "Why should Knicks fans be excited they got you? Are you ready for the pressure?" And he says, "I'm built for this.
I'm built for this."
If I'm correct, and tell me if I'm wrong, was RJ's grandfather a Knicks fan?
Yep.
Correct.
So I think the only person that this playoff series means more to than RJ is Tom Thibodeau, because he was on the Jeff Van Gundy, Pat Riley. He was, he has the lineage. I think the only other person in the building that this means more to than anybody else is RJ. And I think you're going to see a totally different side of this competitive nature that we've never seen before. I think you're going to, my comparison to RJ is I thought he could be a Scottie Pippen type player. He's got the same body. He doesn't have the same slashing ability yet. He doesn't have the same quickness as Pippen did, but I think you're going to see that he's going to be a dog in this series. I think you're going to be wowed. That's just how I feel. I think he's been waiting for this his whole life.
So let me be clear though. I don't think that he's going to be bad in this series. I just don't know. Like
you're just pointing out the flaws.
Yeah, like the way his lack of finishing around the rim the last month in the season is alarming. And we got the number 2 shot blocker in the NBA gonna be standing in the paint waiting for him every time he goes in there.
Yeah.
So it's a concern. So let's go down the line. So we talked about RJ.
Hold on.
Yeah, you didn't get your shot.
RJ for me, and watch how I do this, Joe. Listen, man. Listen, Joe usually come on the show and then we agree on everything, but today we might disagree on this one here. No, but my thing on RJ is I think he's not gonna come out here and just turn into a player we've never seen before. He's not gonna come out here and just start making a whole bunch of layups. He's not gonna come. I mean, he could, but what I do think we're gonna see from RJ is if you look at a lot of the games where we do play the same team more than once, he's always better as the games come along. When we played against the 76ers, the first time we played against the 76ers,
he was bad.
Ben Simmons had that kid in the floor, bro. He had him in
a straight jacket, bro.
Straight jacket. And the next game that we played against them, RJ came out and it was one of his best games of the season. You know what I mean? Going into this series, having a week, and that was something else I mentioned on the show the other day. we were concerned coming out of the All-Star break because the second half of the season was supposed to be way more difficult than the first half. There was supposed to be some teams that was just going to beat us down, and we were supposed to lose a lot of games, and that's where the playoff hope kind of died.
Steel sharp steel, brother. Steel
right.
Sharp and
it started off.
Right.
It started off shaky.
It started off shaky.
I think we lost like 5 out of 6 to start that second half.
Yeah, but then we just went on that
the Grizzlies game, bro. The Grizzlies game happened, and then we've been clicking since.
And then I think what happened during that run was we found a brand of basketball that fit perfectly with that team. And even if we lost some games after that, that brand of basketball stuck with us. And I think that's what we're going to take into it. And I think the reason why I brought that up was because the first half of the season, if we mention how players in the offseason, like we have the guys that come in and they shoot these incredible jump shot videos in the gym and they're looking crazy. And throughout the season, it looks nothing like that. And a former NBA player came out and he said a lot of that happens because these guys
Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas. These guys train all summer long. And then when the season comes, all they do is play ball. They don't have time to practice. They play ball and travel. Play ball, travel. Play ball, travel. There may be a practice here or there, but practices in the NBA during the season are more like shoot-arounds unless you have 2 to 3 days where you can just, all right, guys, this is what I want to work on, and then sit there and work through that for an entire practice. There's not there's not a lot of practices like that in the NBA. So coming out of the second half, we had an opportunity to go into the All-Star break, feeling good about ourselves, take a little break, and then it's just practice and practice and practice. And this is something that reminds me of what we're going through, we're about to go through now, where we have an entire week from the last time we played a game, but we're not just resting. You know, these guys aren't resting. These guys aren't just sitting around. These guys are in the gym without you even telling them to be in the gym. They're studying. That's just what I'm seeing. The second half of the season usually is the tougher half for a lot of teams because of fatigue. And we just continued that momentum throughout the second half of the season.
They got stronger. They talked about the minutes. They talked about Tom Thibodeau running guys into the ground.
Yep.
All of this stuff. Even remember when Julius had like a few games where he played bad. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's tired," and I'm like, Julius is fine.
He's fine.
He had a bad game, yo. Like I watched the games, and even the games where because we went like 5, I think it was 1-5. We had that 1-5 stretch, and everybody went crazy. They was like, Julius is tired. I'm like, he just had a week off.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not tired. Yeah, like he's just not playing well right now. The team is not playing well.
The one nice thing is we're going to be the healthiest and most well-rested that we've been probably since the whole season.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what that Grizzlies game was? Do you remember the 2013 team, right? The Knicks tape team.
Yeah.
They had a game in Utah. You might remember they had a game in Utah. That was a game when Kurt Thomas broke his foot. Okay. But he played on the broken foot though. And the Knicks ended up having like a crazy win that night in Utah, and we never really go to Utah and like win anything.
Right.
But they had that crazy win in Utah, and like after that they rolled. Like the team rolled after that.
Right.
That Grizzlies win was like pretty much the same win, just the 2021 version.
Right.
Like that win propelled this team to a level that they won't say, but I'm not even sure that they knew that they could get to.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
because we complained that
45 seconds left in the third quarter. The Celtics are down by 3.
Okay.
Ah, boy.
Because we complained that at least I know I did, that the Knicks weren't consistent, right? Like they would win like 2 and then they would lose 1. Then they would win like 3 straight. Remember we couldn't win 4 straight?
Yeah. Yep.
And I was just like, man, this team can't win 4 straight for nothing. Then they finally won 4 straight. Nobody ever thought, let's be honest, nobody ever thought that it was going to go to 9 straight. Except for one person in TFE said, hell, let's go for 7 straight. And we all kind of laughed. And they won 7 straight, and they went on to win 2 more after that, which was crazy.
Yeah, I think this team has the potential to really like string some games together, especially with having a the home court advantage, like I mentioned earlier. I think that's huge. I think not Julius Randle, Tom Thibodeau, he's so ready for this opportunity. Like Harry said earlier, in New York, he's not gonna let that opportunity go by. This is what he's been dreaming for his entire life. You know what I mean? And I think he's been the same way Steve Kerr came to the Warriors, and before he went there, he made his rounds. He was hanging out with Phil Jackson a lot. He was hanging out with Pop a lot. He was over there working around in Phoenix in the front office before he took that job, and it was able to just put whatever he put together. And I think Tom Thibodeau did the same thing, very similar. He took his time throughout his career. He worked with some of the greats, Pat Riley, worked with Jeff Van Gundy, we know. Even Doc Rivers, he's worked
Doc
with.
Rivers.
So, you know what I mean? So he's been
Coach K.
around. Coach K.
Yeah,
with the Olympic team.
Don't sleep on his USA basketball.
Yeah, USA.
Yeah, so I just said Coach K.
Coach K for the USA basketball.
Popovich.
Yep.
So
because he was also there with that as well. Yep.
Yeah, so he's been around all of these guys, man, and he's studying.
Picking their brains. And everyone knows that was one of the first things anyone said when we signed him was, this guy's a basketball savant. He's someone who does nothing but eat, sleep, and shit basketball. Literally.
Not married, no kids.
Don't care about none of that but basketball.
Up 3 a.m, bro, like looking at tape, like a maniac. That's why I love him. I love him because he's a maniac, yo. He's crazy.
He's nuts. That's the kind of guy I want on my team forever. You know what I mean?
There's a reason why guys like Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson will run through a wall for this guy
and still come back to every single team he plays. That he coaches.
His commitment's there.
Yeah. His commitment is definitely there.
Let's go down the line now. What y'all expect out of Julius in this series?
Triple-double. I think he has to average a triple-double for us to
get
5 games.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think what happens with Julius, I think Julius gets double teamed 90% of the time.
A lot.
And all of our guys knock down shots. I think Bullock, I think Quickly, RJ. I just think that if you give Julius the ball and you really bring a guy off of Quickly, Bullock, or the 40% shooting version of RJ Barrett, it's just not a brand of basketball that you want to play, because he's not only is he good enough to draw the defense, he knows exactly how to draw the defense when he has the ball. He's not just the guy who's going to get the ball in the paint and get doubled like Tim Duncan. He's the guy who can orchestrate, have a double team come toward him, and he'll move the double team over here just a little bit just to have that passing lane.
So Apollo, think about what you just said. This is the crazy transition of this team. Last year, we dubbed Randall
the Big Apple turnover.
The Big Apple turnover. This guy would purposely spin. He was a whirling dervish into double and triple teams.
But you know what's crazy?
And now we're giving him props that he makes the right decision 95% of the time.
I'm about to tell you something crazy, though. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to put money on it, that if you look at his turnovers from this year to last year, that he averages more turnovers this year than he did last year.
Yeah, absolutely. He does. He does. And it's because it's
we know he's turning it over, trying to make the right decision, though.
Correct.
Not turning it over while he's spinning around.
I could live with that, bro. Like that doesn't frustrate me nearly as much. But when you're turning it over and you're spinning into 3 people, and that really pisses me off. But when I see you turn the ball over and you're trying to kick it out to your guy, or you spin into the double, but you're trying to like split it, because he does that thing where he spins in and he splits it and then he kicks it out. Sometimes he gets an offensive foul. We've seen him travel doing that. Like I can live with that, though.
Yeah.
Now, fellas, think about this. That triple-double I'm talking about is the triple-double that you just said he's going to be doubled. So he doesn't have to score 35 points for that triple-double.
Oh, no, I don't think
12 one game, 16 to next. But for him to average 10 assists in this first series and 10 rebounds and whatever points that he's going to give us, that's where I think you're going to see the meat of his triple doubles.
Yeah, I definitely think yeah, go ahead, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I think he's absolutely capable of the triple double.
Yeah, we've seen it 7 times.
Right, yeah. So I think if for him to average it, the only reason why I don't know if he's gonna average it is because if he's averaging a triple double, that means that Nate McMillan didn't make any adjustments at all. So that's the only reason why I'm not too sure if he can average it, because it's not that he won't be able to do it. I just think that the game plan will shift if he's out there getting 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, picking your defense apart while everybody else is hitting open threes. They're going to change something immediately if that's how they're going to play. And they would almost rather Julius Randle just score whatever he wants to play, whatever point game he wants to play, and just stay on the shooters.
Sure.
And I can see that happening at some point. If
there's a couple things that I was looking at, because again, I'm a maniac, right? You would think that I'm Tom Thibodeau and I have to coach this team tomorrow. But there's a couple things I was looking at.
You're his estranged son.
So one thing that they like to do is, and a lot of teams have done it, they like to try to double him. They like to try to put a smaller guy on him.
Yeah.
And then bring like a big as the double team guy. The Lakers did it. Mm-hmm. That's how they forced to travel. He had, I think, maybe Wes Matthews on him. And then they bought Anthony Davis on the double team.
Yeah.
And he forced to travel towards the end of that game. So I think that we'll see a lot of like bigs coming over to double him instead of a smaller guy. Another thing I think we'll see is the Hawks like to try to hide Trae Young.
Mm-hmm. On defense,
the Knicks can't allow that. So the best way to hide him is to put him on Bullock, right? They can't whenever he's on Bullock, that 2-man game that Reggie and Julius like to run. I'm running that 2-man game and I'm trying to cause a switch. Yep. And now I got Trae on me, and the Hawks are gonna have to make a decision.
They're gonna have to every single time. I'm telling you, I'm getting somehow about that time, fellas. But anyway, listen, I'm getting Trae Young in the post guarding Julius from mid-range every play, as much as I possibly can. Whoever the hell Trae Young is guarding,
whoever he's hiding on.
Yeah. Whoever he's hiding on, you come set the pick.
I agree 100%, bro. I agree 100%.
And you attack that every single time.
So, Apollo, I'm not hijacking your podcast. I know this is your thing, but I hear your kids in the background. I know you're hungry. Why don't we give our predictions for this series before we wrap it up?
Go ahead, bro. You start off, Joe. Give yours first.
Knicks in 6.
Knicks in
6, yo. Yep. Knicks in 6.
I'm agree with you there. I don't really see it going to 7 games. And if it does, we're winning the 7th game because it'll be in New York. But I do think Knicks in 6 at worst. I'll say that. At worst, I see Knicks in 6.
Yeah, I don't think it goes. I don't think there's any chance that it goes less than 6. And there's a strong possibility that it goes 7. That's what I think. But the Knicks are coming out on top either way. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Knicks fan.
Just to mix it up and be a little funky fresh, I'm going to say Knicks in 5. I was going to say Knicks in 6, but I'm going to say Knicks in 5.
Put that extra sauce on it.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo, boy.
All right.
Listen, I think a 5. First of all, everyone talks about the fact that Atlanta has a lot of Knicks fans in there, so it's going to be tough for them regardless where they're playing. So
it's going to be some MVP chants.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
How many fans in Hot Atlanta are they going to let in?
I'm not sure. Somewhere
Atlanta wide open, so they wide open, so
yeah, somewhere in the 10s they should be fine. But yeah, I think there's a way where you can get 5 games out of these guys and they go crazy because you getting these MVP chants in there, and I don't know, man. I see Harry. Listen, I just didn't want to be the guy that just throws something ridiculous out there. But I won't be surprised if they go 5, man. I won't be surprised if they go 5 at all.
Apollo, what did we talk about the other day?
What is this? What is happening?
The dream small as it does the dream big. So
it
makes no difference.
That's right. That's right. I mean, and at this point, it's just an X's and O's game. And when it comes to X's and O's, Tom wins 90% of the time. So I've never seen a team come in more than once, get to us. I feel like the only time they would have an opportunity to have a one up on us would be for one game, and then Tom's gonna snap that, that damn whip, and it's gonna be it. It's gonna be it for him. So I think that I'm stick with my Knicks in 6, but I won't be surprised if I see Knicks in 5.
Wow.
So one quick shout out. I love all of our Knicks fans, but I got to give it up for our Knicks fans overseas.
Yeah.
Jan Moeller over in Germany. All of our Filipino Knicks fans. We have a couple of cats from Australia. We have a couple of cats from Africa. Thanos over in Greece. I mean, we got some guys out there.
His name is really Thanos, guys.
Yeah,
Legendary.
Man. We got some guys out there that got to get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning to catch it on a podcast, and they do it, and they join the conversation. And I got to tell you, man, I take my hats off to you guys. I really do. Appreciate it.
Salute.
Appreciate the love.
Salute. Absolutely. Like Jay Boogie say, 3 S's.
Yeah.
3 S's. Yeah, man. As always, I always like to, like I said, everyone in that group is always just a different feeling in there. So shout out to everybody in the Frozen Envelope group on Facebook. If you would like to join the Frozen Envelope group and you are not toxic, come on over. Because if you're toxic, you will get booted quick as hell.
We will sick Ivan on you.
Sicking Ivan on him.
I was sick Ivan on your ass. Hey, Ivan. This motherfucker over here said something slick. He said, "What?" Not playing with you, but listen, man. We're all about the positivity. We try to keep it realistic, no crazy takes, jumping out the window and all of that. That's what makes TFE what it is. It's not like you're just your average Knicks group. It's just nothing like any other Knicks group you'll be a part of. So come on over if you got the good vibes, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, who's ever watching. A lot of other Knicks groups are toxic. Certain ones are. We're not for a reason. And you can duplicate this in your family, on your block, in your society. When you hold people accountable and you hold them to a higher standard and you're willing to enforce those laws, that's when unity happens. That's when love happens. Right. That's when camaraderie happens. And in our case, that's when a family happens. So, not to get deep with you all, I do love you, but we created a group where we all get along and we respect each other. And the Frozen Envelope is my little slice of heaven, and I love you guys for it.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, ever since I've been, Joe sent me the invite and I've been a part of it. It's been fun. That's like one of the only reasons I go on Facebook half the time is because I'm answering you guys' comments and replying to whatever's going on in the page. I really don't be on my page that as much as I used to, honestly. So, if I am on that page, if I'm on my normal page, it's probably because I went on Facebook to reply to something in the TFE and then got caught up on Facebook and stayed there. That's the only reason why I'm on Facebook nowadays. But neither here nor there, man. It's a loving environment. I love you guys. You guys always show love and support. We have our talks, and the talks we have. We'll sit there for hours and just, coach, talk to each other and just get ourselves out of some ruts that we're going through. And that's what brothers are here for, man. That's what family is about. That's what this Knicks family is about. And this, to have a sports team bring people together like this is just special, man. It doesn't happen.
But that's really what sports is about, right?
Right.
100%.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be for. Yeah, to bring people together, man. But we have been here for quite a while, and I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so I'm gonna close out like I always do. Appreciate everything that you do. All of y'all guys, man. All the grassroots Knicks. Y'all all dope as hell. Macri been. I can't even keep up with Macri right now,
Shout
man.
out to Macri, man. Shout out to Knicks Film School. Shout out to Knicks Fan TV. Shout out to NYK Terry and Trey. Shout out to Die Hard Knicks. Shout out to Knicks Media. I'm people ask me all the time, like, oh, don't you want to kind of be in competition? Hell no, man. We're all Knicks fans. We all have different opinions. We all have different opinions and takes and points of views, man. I would rather put it in all of our hands to control the media than the media. You know what I mean? I would rather us have control of what the fans come to and listen to have real insight and analysis on Knicks basketball.
And shout out to the growth, yo. You see him, Macri was on ESPN.
Yeah, man. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's happening, man. And CP from Knicks
CP got CP got a weekly spot with Max. Listen, you know, Harry's favorite.
You didn't want to say the last name, man, because it could have been any Max. But when we talk about Max contract, that's what we're talking about, Harry. That's what we're saying, Max contract. But yeah, man. Go ahead. What was you saying?
Nah, I you know that I finished my outro, bro. I say the same thing every time, man. Appreciate you, bro. That's it, yo.
Anytime,
appreciate what
man.
you do.
Yeah, Pablo, I appreciate the opportunity and here and express ourselves.
And shameless plug, right? Because we do that.
We do that.
we trying to. I would like to get a Frozen Envelope podcast up and running. Hopefully this off season. I was already talking to my boy about some ideas and stuff because he got his own podcast and he was basically like enlightening me with like some tools you could use for your podcast. So we'll talk about it though, Harry.
100%.
I know that. I know you're a busy dude, so we have to figure out scheduling and all of that. But I want to do it, and I want to do it the right way, man. I'm serious about it.
I agree with you, brother.
This is what we're passionate about, man. I think you put your foot down where you want, you put that flag down, and that's where you stay, man. And you just grow in that one spot. And that's kind of what I tried to do here at Garden Knicks. And like I said, there's a lot of other people out there, and I'm not looking for the views and all of that right now. I'm just doing what I'm passionate about. All of that stuff will come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
And let it be known that this will not be the last Guard Up Knicks TFE collaboration.
Nope. So not at all, man. This is
more to come.
Listen, first time we're here for an hour and a half, man. That's you guys got something to worry about. Just let you guys know. You got something to worry about, of course. But as always, thank you guys for joining us on the Guard Up Knicks podcast or show, whatever, on YouTube. Whether you're on YouTube, you're on Periscope, on Twitter. You are on Facebook Live with us. Thank you guys. Subscribe, share, show some love. I know there's a Knicks fan out there. Even if you're not a Knicks fan, just send it over to another Knicks fan. We always got some good material for you guys. But thank you guys. You guys don't got to leave the studio. I can end the broadcast. But you guys have a good one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to all of y'all. And tomorrow we're gonna get this dub. All right.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks, baby. We here. Peace.
Later.